Howdy folks. Today we got something pretty fun. It's a little bit sciencey, and it's going to be two steps, two fun things combined into one. The first is going to be clarified lime juice. We're going to make a last word with our clarified lime juice, and then we're going to carbonate the last word, and it's going to be awesome. So, science. If you want to do any kind of sciencey anything cocktail-wise, you got to get Liquid Intelligence by Dave Arnold. It's a great book. It's just chock-a-block with information. Very interesting stuff. I'm no scientist. I'm no cook or anything, but I can follow instructions. And if you want to do some cool stuff, you can follow the instructions in this book. It's pretty rad. So the first thing we're going to do for this adventure is clarify lime juice. Now, in the book, there are several different branching procedures depending on what you're clarifying. And lime juice is one of the easier ones, so I'm sticking with that. In the future, maybe we'll try something more complicated, but for now, lime juice. So, let me just show you how that works.
So, first of all, why am I even clarifying this? And it's because when you want to carbonate something, you don't want to have a cloudy ingredient because it makes it much harder to carbonate. And now I'm just doing about 6 limes, which won't be a huge amount, but that's fine. I don't need a huge amount. I'm just sort of trying this out for the first time. So we're going to juice these 6 limes, and that's going to yield us about 250 milliliters of juice. Sounds good. By the way, I am going to use these holes and make a quick lime cordial because, I don't want to waste this stuff. It's good stuff. So to clarify this lime juice, we're going to use agar, and we need to hydrate the agar, and to do that we need to boil it for a couple of minutes. We don't want to boil the lime juice because that's gross, so we're going to use water. Now I'm going to use an amount of water that's equal to 1/3 the amount of lime juice I have. So I have 250 milliliters of lime juice. So I'm going to use about 83 milliliters of water. It's going to be 2 grams of agar per liter of total liquid. I have a total of 1/3 of a liter of liquid, so I'm going to use 2/3 of a gram of agar. Now, it doesn't sound like much, and it isn't, so luckily I have this tiny scale I can use. Now, we're going to get our whisk. We're going to pour the water into the pot on the stove. We're going to put the agar into the cold water, or the room temp water, I guess. And then we're going to give it a good whisk. We're trying to break up the lumps and not let it, try to get it dispersed, So we'll go ahead and give that a quick whisking, and then we're going to turn on the heat and we're going to boil it, and we're going to keep whisking as it comes to a boil. And once it does come to a boil, we're going to put the lid on the pot, and we're going to turn down the heat and let it simmer for like 2 minutes. Our 2 minutes are up. So we're going to go ahead and turn off the heat and keep whisking, or whisk again, while we pour in our lime juice. Now you don't want to put the hot agar into the cold lime juice. You want to put the room temp lime juice into the hot agar. Otherwise, bad things happen. It congeals and whatnot. Go ahead and whisk that up, pour it into a bowl. And then we're just going to stick this in the fridge until it gels. I'm not 100% sure how long that takes, but I left it in there for a couple of hours. And as you can see, it's not running anymore. It's all kind of a loose gel. Then we're going to take our whisk and we're just going to break it up sort of gently. We're not trying to, put it into a million pieces, but sort of into curd-like formations. Once that's broken up, we're going to put it into a straining bag. I love this straining bag. I use it all the time. Put it in there, and then it's just gonna, the clarified lime juice is just gonna start draining out. Now, Dave Arnold warns against putting too much pressure on the bag. Like, you don't want to squeeze it, because you'll squeeze out the agar and that'll cloud up the juice. But I think a little bit of agar gets in there inevitably. I tried to be as careful as I could, but I think a little bit got in. That's okay. We ended up with just about 200 milliliters of clarified lime juice, and it looks pretty clear to me. I'm pretty happy.
Okay, so we got our clarified lime juice. Now we're just gonna mix up a last word as usual. Equal parts lime juice, clarified lime juice in this case, gin, chartreuse, and maraschino liqueur. We're just going to stir that up in the normal manner. When you put it in a plastic bottle and stick it in the fridge, you want this to be really cold, as cold as you can, before you carbonate. Sidebar. Now, I'm going to carbonate using a big CO2 tank that I've got. I've got this CO2 because I have a keg in the kitchen. Now, if you've got a home bar, I highly recommend getting like a kegerator or something. Keep some beer on hand. Not everybody wants a cocktail. You don't maybe want a cocktail? I got a 5-gallon keg, Cornelius keg it's called, from my homebrew days. A lot of local nice breweries will fill up a Cornelius keg for you, and it costs, I don't know, $50 or something for 5 gallons. That's pretty good. And beer on tap whenever you want it. So that's a sidebar that I recommend. End sidebar. I believe there are other ways to carbonate your drink. This is what I have, and so it's simple. But let me just show you what I'm doing.
So I got this giant CO2 canister. It's got ball lock connectors for my Cornelius keg, and it's got a little switch to turn the gas on and off. And I got my my connector. Now you're gonna want to put your pressure up to about 38 to 42 carbonating pressure, and this is my little adapter. I'll put a link to where you can find one of those if you want. Now the bottle just screws into the other end. So you got your drink in the bottle, you want to squeeze out as much air as you possibly can, and then screw the adapter onto the top. Once it's nice and tight on there, you open the valve, give it a shake, and it'll sort of explosively inflate. It's a little bit alarming, but everything's gonna be fine. Once you got that, turn off the gas and just gently, slowly vent the gas out. Now we're gonna repeat this process 3 times, squeezing the air out, tightening the adapter, shaking, turning the gas back on, and slowly venting. After your 3rd vent, you're just gonna take the cap off, put on the regular other cap, stick it in the fridge, and then just keep it in the fridge until you're ready to serve.
So we got our last word in the bottle, all carbonated, ready to roll. So let's open this up. It's the last word. It tastes exactly like the last word. I was worried that the lime, when you clarified it, would lose some of its liminess or something in the process, but it actually tastes pretty good. I'm pretty excited. I tasted the clarified lime by itself, and it was, very tart still, so no problem there. This is great because if you got someone coming over, you got people coming over, you could prep a few of these if you wanted to. Put them in, keep them in plastic bottles in the fridge, nice and cold. And when people come, just crack them open, pour a couple of drinks. 3, you could probably fit 4 You can probably fit 3 or 4 in this bottle. And this isn't a great bottle for this. This weird shape at the top makes it hard to compact, but it still worked. So yeah. Carbonated last word. Fizzy word? What should we call this? I don't know. Thanks for watching. If you like this kind of fun, sciencey video, go ahead and like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.